Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Aditi Ghosh once again on Inner World Revealed. In this vlog, I'm going to talk about number compatibilities. So we know there are 9 primary numbers: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. And each number is compatible with a set of numbers, and based on whether or not a number is compatible with the other numbers, we decide upon our names, venture names, pet names, compatibility between partners, and many other things in accordance to numerology. In this log, we are going to find out which are the numbers that are compatible with each of these 9 base values from 1 to 9. So let us begin with the compatibility categories first. There are 4 compatibility categories. The first one is the natural match category. A natural match is basically the best match, in other words. So when you would put natural match numbers together, they will have an instinctive understanding of each other and will empower each other naturally. Then comes the compatible numbers category. Compatible means the numbers have a good understanding of each other, and when you will put them together, there won't be much conflict, and a good amount of understanding between the two numbers will always be there. So the natural match numbers and compatible numbers are basically going to have many similarities between themselves, and due to the similarities, these numbers will stay together, bond well. They will naturally travel in the same direction without much conflict. But there are 2 more categories which will not so easily or quickly bond. And numbers falling in these 2 categories could be a bit different from each other. They may not share similar interests and may disagree with each other on many points. And these 2 categories are neutral match and toxic number categories. Neutral match or neutral numbers, as the name suggests, are the numbers that may have a good bonding or may even have a difficult bonding. It basically depends. So neutral match numbers can go either ways, whereas toxic numbers, as the name suggests, when put together, will always form conflicts with each other. In majority of the cases, they have some conflicts. It is seen usually. So the toxic numbers are not going to agree with each other very easily. Now I'm going to begin with the 3 primary natural match categories first that you must always remember as a thumb rule. So the first natural match category is 1, 5 and 7. These 3 numbers are very similar in the way they think. They have an independent point of view. The second natural match category is 2, 4 and 8. All these 3 numbers are highly practical in their approach. And the final natural match category is 3, 6 and 9. 3, 6 and 9 are called creativity numbers. So this is a thumb rule that you must always remember. 3 with a 6 is going to be a natural match. 1 with a 5 is again going to be a natural match. And also 2 with a 2 is also going to be a natural match. So pick up any 2 base values from any of these categories and put them together, or put the same number with itself, and it's always going to work. Now let us find out the compatibility seen for each of the base values from 1 to 9 one by one. And let us begin with the number 1. So as I said, 1, 5 and 7 is a natural match category. So let me put 1, 5 and 7 as the natural match combo for 1. In the compatible numbers category, I'm going to put 2, 3 and 9. And there are basically no neutral match numbers really, but maybe we can put 8 as a neutral number for 1. And the toxic numbers for 1 would be 4, 6 and 8. Now let us come to the number 2. And we already know that 2, 4 and 8 is the second natural match category. So let's put that in the natural match category for 2. The number 2 is a very cooperative and supportive kind of a number. So it gets well with most of the numbers. So we have 1, 3, 6 and 9 as the compatible numbers. And there are only 2 numbers, 5 and 7, which find it difficult to get along well with 2. Now let us come to the number 3. And we already know that 3, 6 and 9 is the third natural match category. So let's put that in the natural match category for 3. 3 is also a very friendly number. So we have 1, 2 and 5 falling in the compatible numbers category. And finally, we have 3 numbers that do not get along well with 3, and they are 4, 7 and 8, which are the toxic numbers for 3. Now let us move on to the number 4. And once again, we already know that 2, 4 and 8 are going to be falling in the natural match category for 4. The compatible numbers are 6 and 7. 4 is not much of a friendly number, so it has 4 toxic numbers, which are 1, 3, 5 and 9. So now we are going to look at the number 5. And we already know that 1, 5 and 7 is going to be the natural match category for 5. The compatible numbers are 3 and 9. 8 can also be considered to be a compatible number only, but let us put it in the neutral category for being on the safe side. Technically, it is basically a neutral match number. And in the toxic numbers category, we will have 2, 4 and 6. Now let us come to the number 6. And once again, we already know that 3, 6 and 9 is going to be the natural match category for 6. 2, 4 and 8, this entire natural match category would fall in the compatible numbers category for 6. And the natural match category of 1, 5, 7, the entire mind number category is a toxic match for 6. And that brings me to the number 7. And once again, we already know that 1, 5 and 7 is going to be the natural match category for 7. 4 is a compatible number. And like 4, 7 is also not much of a friendly number. So all the social and company loving numbers like 2, 3, 6, 8 and 9 are toxic to 7. That brings me to the number 8, and we know 2, 4 and 8 is going to be the natural match category for 8 already. 6 is a compatible number to 8. 1 and 5, as we already saw before, are the neutral match numbers here. As a matter of fact, 5 with an 8 can be a very good combo for business, but not exactly for relationships. It can be good also, but as a matter of fact, one needs to be very careful about it basically. The toxic numbers for 8 are 1, 3, 7 and 9. Now let us come to the number 9. So we already know that 3, 6, 9 is the natural match category for this. We have repeatedly seen that. The compatible numbers for 9 are 1, 2 and 5. And finally, the toxic numbers for 9 are 4, 7 and 8. So that was the compatibility seen for all the base values from 1 to 9. And knowing this may help you in deciding upon which partners to choose to work with, which name values you'd settle for in accordance to your other core numbers, which business names or venture names you'd choose for yourself. However, you must also remember that you have to pay attention to the other criteria as well. For instance, you have to pay attention to the double-digit codes and also have some basic understanding of numerology before you decide upon anything, because little knowledge is going to be dangerous. This log is being made on request by some of my readers who have already read the two books written by me, All is One and Cycle of Nine. All is One is introducing you to the basics of numerology. Cycle of Nine introduces you to time alignment. Numerology is basically a vast subject to be contained in a few books. You can just go on and on with it. There's no end to it. You can consider this video as an extension to the two books that I have already written. I'm also working upon my third book, which is primarily going to be directed towards providing name change solutions to all of you. And once again, that too is a very vast subject. So thank you so much for writing to me with such interesting queries and ideas. Thank you so much for giving me your precious time and watching my videos. Thank you so much for subscribing to me and supporting me and my channel. Your support to me means a lot. So that'll be all for today. Have a very good time. Bye bye.